Hi everyone, Trina here, and I wanted to continue with Atlantis, and we were getting into chapter 16, interpreting the messages. And I might have to keep these videos a little bit shorter until I know that things are not removing me. Because I don't know what was going on, but something was going on. So hopefully it's fixed, but I don't know yet. We will see. So I hope you guys are good. I hope you liked the last one. I thought that was some beautiful information. And we're going to be getting a little bit more into that with symbolism, keys and codes, and instructions for third dimensional movement and protocols. And these things really do make a difference in your life if you start to practice with them. You'll start to manifest very quickly in your reality. So be careful what you wish for. So here we begin. Interpreting the messages. By the end of December 1990, Norma had brought through the complete set of transmissions regarding the trip. By this time, two primary groups had formed that were planning to meet us in Bimini, one in New Mexico, the other in New Jersey. Copies of the transmissions were sent to all group members who had committed to go. Both groups took the messages seriously and studied them at length. It quickly became apparent that the input from the members of both groups was needed, and they could greatly improve the ability to extract the information and interpret the meanings encoded within the information. When the group meetings were held, either in New Mexico or New Jersey, opinions were presented on the significance of the messages. Some group members made notes of their opinions and shared them with others, in meetings or by mail. There were several different ways the group members analyzed the 15 messages. One method used was to extract all the sections that pertained to direct assignments or instructions and organize those into a separate file. That was fairly easy, a concrete thing to do. Others analyzed the content from a deeper, more symbolic level. This was way more challenging, and this was a way more challenging approach to the messages. There was much speculation on the true meaning and symbolism of certain passages. There was also a lot of significant general information given in the messages, as well as the details regarding what we should expect to occur during the trip. Primarily, those details provided intrigue, causing speculation as to whether or not the events would actually occur. The individuals who exhibited greater confidence that those events would occur analyzed the passages and made predictions on how each event would actually manifest. In this chapter, examples of this information extracted from the messages have been broken down into 4 categories. First, symbolism. Second, keys and codes. Third, instruction for third dimensional movements. And fourth, protocol given by Master Delfor. In the pages that follow, an example of one's group effort to interpret the symbolism is given, as well as the master's interpretation of the same passage. In addition, selected pieces of information have been chosen as examples of each category listed above. We offer this information to give some plausible guidelines as to what to look for when studying the messages. Study and meditation on the messages is needed to grasp the true significance of the coded information. Much of the meaning can be interpreted on the personal level and may vary from person to person. Therefore, comparisons and group discussion is very helpful. This chapter presented the most difficulty when writing this book because of the undefined and mysterious nature of the information in the messages. Guidance from Kuthumi was required on how we could organize this information for the reader. Kuthumi provided us with insight on how to represent the group's work in this book. The initial dialogue with him led to ideas of what we could do, such as defining very important terms. His answers also inspired further questions. Some of that dialogue is also printed below. Should we provide an in-depth explanation of our group's analysis of the messages for the readers of this book? We suggest not. For the amount of labor might rob them of the ecstasy of discovering the answers on their own. Since ultimate wisdom begins to unfold with the opening of the third eye, and since this occurrence is associated with higher level brain activation, we see that the readers may be denied the opportunities to exercise their minds if all interpretations are handed to them. Therefore, why not provide examples of your work and know that it will suffice in providing the stimulus for others to achieve? Now that's a teacher of a master right there. Self. They want you to learn how to do it yourself. An earlier communication, you suggested that we divide this chapter into 4 sections: symbolism, keys, codes, instructions for the third dimensional movement, and protocol. Why? And this is Kuthumi. The divisions were suggested to provide a framework upon which to base an analysis, challenging the reader to interpret symbolism provides an opportunity to stimulate the right half brain structures, which dearly need exercise. This will energize the brain and open up new neural paths, which will allow more learning and understanding to flow. A section on the keys and codes enables one to look at the smaller building blocks of information that lead to the discovery of the ancient mysteries. An analysis of the instructions in the third dimensional movement prepares the mind to move the body with the proper agenda in the physical world. It also provides readers with the necessary information to prepare for their own journeys to the sacred island. Finally, a section on protocol. Could discipline minds and hearts to the sacred rituals of respect, love, and obedience to God and the laws. This section seals the interpretations with the reminder that discipline is the key to all paths entering the fifth kingdom and higher. Question from Norma. Is symbolism the same as the keys and codes? Kuthumi. The language of the universe is symbolism. Symbolism is that which directs energy into creation through sound and vibration. Symbolism runs the world and all worlds contained in the universe as universes of macrocosm. The keys and the codes unlock the mysteries of symbolism, enabling individuals to manipulate sound and light frequencies through symbolic vibration. Therefore, they symbolism. And the keys and the codes are one and the same. They only vary in the degree to which they are applied in your understanding. That is why you experience so much difficulty in trying to separate them in this document. Keys, codes, and symbolism are the categories individuals on Earth must learn before the trigger is activated to achieve mastery. Symbolism is the key to life and to understanding God. It is that which we are programmed to learn in our never-ending journey back to the Creator. In spite of your explanation, we seem to be having difficulty in deciding which are the keys and which are the codes in the message. Please define keys and codes. Keys. Small steps in learning that move one's consciousness from simple, linear concepts to more complex, higher ones. They are the tools that bring an understanding of the basic foundation for enlightenment. And then they put enlightenment. The position achieved when an individual becomes one with the higher self and vibrates at the speed of light. Wow. This new frequency prepares the individual to assume oneness with the universal mind. This state implies one has access to all knowledge in the universe. Wow. Codes. Symbolic interpretations which require meditation to achieve the higher understanding. When one acquires enough of the basic steps, keys, one is prepared to manipulate that knowledge to assure a higher understanding will come forth. Codes represent the symbolic form of wisdom that dictates to individuals the responsibility for interpreting the higher meaning. Wow, that's true. When one understands the codes, he or she has mastered decoding. When one decodes the mysteries, one becomes enlightened. Very interesting, because when I was learning, they were instructing me on this, on symbology. And the way I received one of the instructions was so profound, because it took it from my understanding on a personal level to a global level. And it was interesting because they showed me the peace sign. And then they told me to research its true symbol, which was in the ancient ruins. And when I saw the ancient ruins, I saw it, but it's reversed. And so I looked it up, and it was an ancient ruin called Algis, and it's the ruin of protection and the elk, and for the antlers, being able to communicate still with God directly, being in line with your higher self and having intuition, which gives you protection. It was this beautiful ruin, and the peace symbol is inverted. It's reversed. So they were showing me how Woodstock and all of these things were this energy of enlightenment and freedom and love and peace. It was birthing forth through the vibrations of the music, rock and roll, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and then on it went through the 60s and the 70s to this movement and this energy, and this was a huge awakening. So they took a symbol that represented that, and they inverted it on the people, hoping it would stop it. And this is another reason too they introduced a lot of the mind drugs, because they wanted to stop this. They would do it through mind control and psychedelics and different things. So it was kind of funny when they showed me that, and they showed me how the symbols have been inverted and used sometimes to to harm us, because when that symbol is inverted, the meaning is a suppressed mind, hive mind, kind of conforming, and no individual thought. It's a very it suppresses higher mind function. So instead of like helping it, it actually suppresses it. So I thought that was profound. When I was seeing that, it was like, wow, this is kind of amazing, because I've literally been shown that information, and how it is being used, and how it's affecting our subconscious mind. Even though consciously we're seeing one thing, the subconscious mind sees the reversal. It sees what it really is. So we have selected a poem that you wrote as an example to be placed in the section on symbolism. Is this a good example? And if so, is our interpretation correct? Or will it serve to mislead the reader? The poem is an example of symbolism at its highest, for it is not only containing keys and codes, but it also emits a vibration likened to the nectar that the yogis describe when they have reached higher states of consciousness. The simple interpretations you provide is appropriate for you to display, and it will not serve to mislead the reader. Many who read this document will also interpret the meaning in a very similar way. If you feel comfortable in doing so, allow us to provide another interpretation as well, to provide a contrast of that which represents the group mind. Doing so may serve to heighten the reader's awareness, if he or she will first anchor the thought that both interpretations are neither correct nor incorrect. Wow. This last statement, correct nor incorrect, is provided to challenge the student on the road to mastery. For I have just delivered another message full of deep symbolic meaning. Meditate on this too, and see if it does not provide you comfort. We have one final question. We believe that everything we perceive external to our existence is a symbol of what we are experiencing on the inner planes. Is this true? Kuthumi. The inner planes govern direction and purpose for the journey. The world on the outside mirrors the reality that we create within. Every event experienced represents the truth of our journey encountered on the hidden dimensions of consciousness. Therefore, the mysteries each must learn to unfold on the inner planes are indeed the experiences acted out in the world around. When one understands symbolism, one is ready to move quickly and with grace in the world. This is truth. Kuthumi's guidance was appreciated, informative, and helpful. The analysis presented below represents a small part of the group's attempt to pass the final exam for Bimini 101. As you can see, it was not an easy task to study for this exam. And then they speak on symbolism. The poem dictated by Kuthumi in his message of November 27th was one of the primary pieces of information worked on, trying to understand the master's symbolism. The following is one group's interpretation of this poem. Here is the poem. We see with the mind's eye and glisten like crystalline. When we observe the light bodies adapt to the crystalline. And then they write, The masters are joyful when they see our light bodies begin to absorb the ancient universal language. So this is their interpretation. I'll begin that again. The masters are joyful when they see our light bodies begin to absorb the ancient universal language, knowledge, and power contained in the golden light. They observe us through their inner eyes of wisdom, and with a greater insight than we can imagine in our present form. Then the next part of the poem. The universe has no boundaries. The lakes have no form. The animals have no idols, and all humans are torn. And this is their interpretation. As the changes of the New Age come, all third-dimensional beliefs and values are dissolved in the light of transformation. This will create great turbulence and chaos on the planet, and in the collective human consciousness as it undergoes its transformation. Yeah, bingo. Next, the poem. The crystalline will renew all life and its forms. Children of the light will be reborn, and the earth will be adorned. Interpretation. But the crystalline, the golden light containing the ancient language, knowledge, and power that our light bodies are now absorbing, will regenerate all life on the planet. Certain individuals will be transformed into fifth-dimensional beings. Poem. So hasten to Bimini. Come one, come all. Move into the crystalline and reclaim the hall. Interpretation. Come to Bimini, experience the vortex of Atlantis. Regain the knowledge and the power of the crystalline that was once known, and reclaim the hall. This could possibly be the hall of Shambhala, or perhaps they are referring to an actual physical structure of Atlantis, which the masters are using as a symbolic representation of the power that we once knew. Poem. Justice will be served. The night draws to an end. Move with confidence and courage to your journey's end. Interpretation. Imbalances in the Earth's electromagnetic field caused by the destruction of Atlantis that created so much negativity will be once again neutralized, as will the effects of that negativity on us. We have earned the opportunity to reclaim the powers and the privileges that were lost to us at that time. Poem. You have waited so long for this moment to come. Lead the way, O children. The stars wait for some. Interpretation. We have waited thousands of years for this opportunity, both to serve and to reclaim our inheritance. We lead the way for the children of light, and some will achieve enlightenment and return to their star homes. Poem. No truth will be revealed in the days to come. See justice fulfilled as the plan will be done. Interpretation. Walk in light and peace, O dear children of God. The truth of the power of Atlantis will be revealed in the coming times, and divine order, balance, peace, and harmony will be restored to our beloved planet Earth. Wow, I've seen that. Kuthumi. Jean and I have discussed your offer of providing another interpretation to this poem. Please transmit one to share with the reader. Below is an explanation that Master Kuthumi sent through in approximately 5 minutes. Kuthumi. The ascended realms look on from above and watch the children of light completing their journeys to the 5th dimension. The programming for total transformation will come when the DNA and the RNA patterns within are decoded by the union with the higher self. As the higher self enters the physical bodies, a new electromagnetic vortex of energy will embrace the other 8 bodies contained within and around the individual. This explosion of energy will activate the planet's entry into the 5th dimension, which will cause much upheaval to the Earth. If the change is too cataclysmic and abrupt, individuals may experience confusion and doubt, but they will always reunite with their own source of power. This reunion will serve to stabilize their consciousness, and it will provide a new awareness as to the nature of reality in a higher kingdom. These higher light souls will grace the world and provide the keys and the codes to others. The information that they will then impart will be necessary for free individuals to free individuals from slavery and bondage. The children of light will be acknowledged by all for the gifts that they will bring to earth. The vortex in Bimini is likened to a time capsule, which is activated to speed up the process. The sooner one journeys to this location, the quicker his or her own time capsule will be activated. Fear not the journey, and ask not for courage. Instead, walk with confidence and reclaim the mastery that you know is already yours. Mastery is the journey. Mastery is the ultimate achievement. Consider that the soul's journey is hastened in this lifetime to be rejoined with the ascended realms. This is a realization that has taken many lifetimes to complete. Only some of the children of light will move through the portals before it closes in the etheric, because the choosing does not occur on this side of the portal. The choosing occurs in the heart and in the mind of each individual who walks in the path of oneness and enlightenment. Many will not choose, although are all called. The time is fast approaching for all children of light to regain their mastery. In this mastery, there will come all-knowingness and love. Justice will be fulfilled when the judgment is final. That means that the vibrational levels will be achieved in a twinkling of an eye. Oh my God, I saw that. We wouldn't even know. It would be so fast. It will catapult the earth into the 5th dimension. When this instant in time occurs, the electrons will be spinning at such a rate that all will be silenced in the heart. This moment of time will fulfill the prophecy, and the planet will be birthed into a star in the heavens. When comparing the two interpretations, it becomes clear that ours was indeed simple, as Kuthumi had said. This suggested that the deeper study and the meditation that could be bringing forth a more profound understanding of the symbolism in the message. Nevertheless, it was the first attempt. Kuthumi said that neither interpretation, ours or of the Masters, was correct or incorrect. The authors understood this to mean that there are different levels of truth, depending upon the perspective from which the symbol is viewed. That's beautifully said. We're all at different places and learning at different speeds, and we're in different levels, and none of them are right, none of them are wrong. It's an is, because it is where we're present. All right, guys, we're going to go into keys and codes next and interpreting more, but I better shut this down to make sure it finishes and completes. So I love you all. I will see you on the next one, and have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be. Namaste, and much love and favor to you all. Soul family. I'll see you soon.